Hello traders, Rich here and welcome to a new episode on how to analyze any chart from scratch without using any indicators, just by applying basic price action concepts and market structure 101. If you aren't familiar with the series, I'll make sure to attach the playlist, which includes all the videos by order in the description below. So let's get started, and as usual, cheers. Today we have episode number 11, which is AUD CAD, a forex pair, and as usual, we start from the higher time frames like daily and weekly, and we call them rejection time frames because this is when we know where we stand in the market. Are we around a support, a resistance? Are we overall bearish, bullish, or stuck inside a range? And of course, we'll be looking for buy setups around the lower bound or support. In this case, it can be a horizontal support just like this one, or non-horizontal, and sell setups around the upper bound, which is our resistance zone. It can be also horizontal or non-horizontal. So let's start by drawing our support and resistance, and you already know it, right, if you watched the previous videos, but let's go over it again for new members. We draw a random line on our chart and drag and drop it in a way to connect as many swings as possible. And we want, anyway, I drew this one, which is a very, very obvious one. And we want the swings to be very big in size and not like small. So this is not a swing. This is an entire swing. So this is our swing high. Okay, so the bigger the swing, the stronger the support and resistance. And of course, it's a zoomed out support and resistance that has been holding back in history. Later on, we'll zoom in to find or to identify the market structure. In this case, you can call them like minor or short-term support and resistance, which are the previous highs and lows. So anyway, let's start with the zoomed out picture to know where we stand in the market. We can clearly see that we've got one here, many rejections from it. And I don't like to draw it as a big zone because like this, for example, because when you zoom in, you will see a gray background. I'd like to see the exact same white background. Okay, so that's why I draw it as an actual zone, like two levels where you have an upper bound and lower bound, and try to cover the rejection inside it like this, covering the rejection here and here as well. So this is our first one. We drew it by mistake, and let's continue. You drag and drop it like this, and here we go. We've got a very strong one around 0.99. I always optimize it to be a round number, but I will not do it today to make the video faster. You've already got it right. We have many rejections here. This one is even a stronger support resistance than this one, and here as well, and here also. So it's also a fantastic one, and let's make it as a zone. Let's make this one higher and this one lower. It doesn't really matter if you make it a little bit higher or lower, right? Because we are not going to trade it. So we don't buy blindly around it. We zoom into lower time frames, which we're going to do next, and look for sell setups or buy setups, right? So it doesn't really matter if you drew it like this or this, doesn't really matter. Okay, next, let's continue. If we scroll down, I can see one here. I don't know if you can see it. Here we go. Many rejections here, here, and here as well. And of course, it's a zone. Let's make this one a little bit higher, around 0.95. Let's make it higher, and let's make this one an offset for it to be an actual big zone, right? So here we go. To cover these 1, 2, 3, 4, and this one, it's a little bit broken, but we've got many rejections from it already. So this is it, and let's draw one more or two, or it depends on how much support resistance we have. Here we've got one, a very strong one, rejection here, here, and broken downward. Then it's acting as a resistance, then of course broken upward. It's now acting as a support area, and let's make it as a zone as usual. Let's make, you know what, we've got 0.9 here, even though we can draw it like 0.91, but since it's a very strong round number, let's make it 0.9 again and again. It's better to make it 0.91 if we don't have a round number, but since it's a round number, and here we go, all right, and let's make it like 0.91. So we've got a big support and resistance here. Here are, anyway, the only support and resistance we can draw. And let's see if we can draw one here. Yes, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Let's keep it this way as price is far away from it, and let's make the process faster. And of course, you can change the color so that you make the chart looking better. And for example, I like to do it like green, blue, green, and blue. This way it would look better, right? And anyway, it depends on what suits your style. So this is it. These are the only support and resistance that we can draw from weekly time frame. And look how much info you already got just from weekly time frame. Now let's zoom in to identify the market structure. If you zoom in, we can see that we are clearly overall bearish, right? And I don't like to see these random numbers. For example, this one would be 0.945 and 0.55. 0.955. I like to see it like this, 0.9, 0.91. But you've got the idea. So are clearly overall bearish, impulse, correction, impulse, correction, and we are currently in this impulse movement. So our overall bearish, however, we're approaching a support area. So as price approaches it, we'll be looking for buy setups. And anyway, you can make it a little bit higher like this. So it's a zone and not a laser level. So starting from here, we can start to look for buy setups. As you can see, the price is respecting this area also. I don't know, previously, yes, and here as well. Okay, so you can make it higher or lower. As mentioned, doesn't really matter. So let's keep it like 0.91. Yes, here we go. Now let's zoom into daily time frame. Let's see. Usually when we find a lot of support and resistance, you won't be able to find any new support and resistance from daily time frame, right? Because you already drew everything from weekly time frame. So let's zoom in and see if we can add any more clues, right? To give us an idea about where we currently are in the market. I can see that we can draw this trend line. I know it's already broken previously, but let's see if it will help us like add more clues to our analysis. Let's make it appear on lower time frames. Of course, as usual, whatever you draw on one time frame, you will have to see it on lower ones, but you don't want to see it on higher ones. Okay, so I want to see this one on daily, H4, H1, and so on. If I draw a trend line on M30, I don't want to see it on H1 and daily, right? So always draw it like this and make sure that you don't see it. This is how you make your chart as clean as possible. So price was trading inside this channel. We were overall bearish, impulse correction, and this was, and I guess I posted a setup for this one. This was a very good setup to look for, very good zone to look for setups, because it's the intersection of this brown trend line, which is covering the entire bearish movement, and this resistance in green, right? And we were looking for sell setups. Then price approached our support. We were looking for buy setups. Then price broke our trend line upward, and it's now retesting it. So this trend line is now acting as a non-horizontal support. So yes, we will keep it. And as price approaches this area, we'll be looking for buy stops, knowing that price can still dive in, test this area before going upward. Okay, so let's take it step by step. We'll be looking for buy setups, but meanwhile, until the buy is activated or the buyers prove to us that they took over, we know that we will be overall bearish. And if we zoom in from the daily time frame, we can see that we are currently also overall bearish from a medium-term perspective. So impulse, correction, impulse. So now we might have a correction, another impulse before we have around this area maybe a full reversal. And I say maybe because we can't really know what the price would do. We don't predict. Don't try to predict what will happen. So some traders would draw like this, and this. So they were waiting for this movement. You can't really know. Trading is reactive and not predictive. So always wait for our rules, always wait for the buyers or sellers to prove control before you enter a trade. So this is what we know so far. And usually when I know what I'm looking for, I will draw arrows. I don't know if you saw my analysis on TradingView. You can see that I drew like this. I highlight these areas that of course, I save it. Yeah, I always save my chart. So next time when I open my chart, I immediately know what I'm looking for. I don't have to do it all over again. Anyway, I can still have my levels, right? But I can immediately know at the first glance that I'm looking for buy here. And if price goes like this, I'll be looking for sell around this resistance area. So now that we know where we are in the market, let's zoom into lower time frames to look for what, in this case, for buy setups, knowing that again and again, it can trade lower before going up. So first we'll zoom into H4. If we find anything on H4, then we'll stop zooming lower. I don't want to see this here, only from daily. And yes, I guess, yes, here we go. I don't want to see it here, only from daily. Always try to make your charts as clean as possible. So now let's zoom in and we can immediately see, I don't know if you see it, but I guess you do, that you have a trend line here covering this bearish movement. And then you could also draw it from daily time frame, but let's draw it from this one. Again, I don't want to see it higher, I want to see it lower. So H4, H1 and 30, I'll be able to see it. And as usual, let's try to make an offset. And yes, price is respecting it here and here as well. So we are currently trading inside this channel. We are overall bearish, as mentioned, from daily time frame, or while looking for buy setups because price is approaching a support area. So we know that price can still trade lower. For example, a movement like this, and this before trading higher, or even price can still go like this, another projection here before trading higher, before breaking above the swing. In this case, this would be our trigger swing. In this case, this would be our trigger swing. Let's make this one in red. Here we go. So you know what? Let's keep this one purple because I used a lot. And let's do this one in blue. So this is our first scenario. This is our second scenario. And usually you'll see me highlighting like this for our trigger, waiting for this one. Or in this second scenario, this would be our trigger. Right? And let's delete these ones. I don't want to see it now. And I want to see this on lower time frames. Okay, fantastic. And let's delete these ones for now, because now we'll be even zooming into lower time frames. Because as price approaches this area, we can also look for buy stops. Of course, if it's here, we'll not zoom into lower time frames to look for buy stops because we have this trend line acting as a minor resistance that might hold the price down, might push it down. So I will not be buying here because we have a trend line that price might reject it, right? But if price is around the lower bound, approaching the lower trend line, this brown trend line and this support, then of course we'll be looking for buy setups, and the price has some room, or our bar trade has some room to trade higher before finding any rejection. So in this case, yes, I'll be zooming into lower time frames even, and maybe we can even draw this trend line. And let's make it in orange like this, for example, because we already have blue, red, and brown. That's how you diversify your charts to make it clean, to make it look as clean as possible. I was going to say look clean, I said clone. Okay, so that's it. I'm trying my best to be as clean as possible because English isn't my first language. Hope you guys understand me well. So this is the first scenario, a short-term scenario from M30 in orange, a medium-term scenario, which is in red, as you can clearly see. So here as well, we're waiting for price to form like this, for our trend line to be valid, and then we'll be buying on spec upward, knowing that the lower the better because price can reject this trend line. So we're not looking for buy here, we're looking for buy around the lower bound, but we also want to have some room for our trade to trade higher. So the best case scenario in this case is price to trade lower, even lower, for example, and activate the buy around here. Then yes, in this case, the price can, or our buy can still hit take profit before reaching the upper trend line. And of course, price can invalidate this trend line like now. For example, if it goes upward, then it would no longer be valid. And of course, the same goes for our trend line on H4. So you see what I mean? So I don't want to see it higher than M30. This is how you keep your chart clean, and this one as well. I don't want to see it higher than M30. And of course, in this case also, if price goes up, then this trend line would no longer be valid. We want to go like this and form a new swing, which is equidistant or relevant to the previous swings, which builds this trend line, as you can see in red. So here are the possible scenarios. This is the first one for our medium-term perspective. This would be our first one, or as mentioned previously, like this, and this one, then we'll be entering a buy on spec upward. Meanwhile, until any of these two possible scenarios happen, would be overall bearish, and the AUD CAD can still trade lower and lower to dive inside our support area. And this area here is a very strong area because it's the intersection of all these three rejection zones: red trend line, brown trend line, and this blue support. So that's it for AUD CAD. Hope you enjoyed it, and feel free to request any new instrument for our episode number 12. As usual, enjoy it, and I'll see you on the next one.